Well, welcome to Toronto Maple Leafs Baseball on YouTube. The Maple Leafs have their back against the wall here tonight. We'll have more on that as we get closer and closer to first pitch. Thomas West alongside Zach Benoit. Zach, it was good to see John Salazzo hitting the home run. He's getting hyped up with his teammates right now. That might just get him going.
Exactly. You know, he finally got that home run. Hopefully that'll get the little troubles off of his back and the bat will be able to roll.
Well, I had a great chance to catch up with John Salazzo before this pivotal game against the Welland Jackfish. The Maple Leafs trying to keep their season alive tonight. Here's Salazzo. All right, John, big game for you guys today. Your backs are against the metaphorical wall. What are you feeling right now?
You know, it's just another day at the park. I mean, we're not stressed out. We've been here before. Our back's against the wall. We're just going to lay everything out on the field tonight. You know, have our home crowd behind us, the Bushmen, and all our fans. I think it's going to be a good one tonight.
When you think about trying to, keep the season going, what is it about wanting to keep playing here? Is it playing with the guys? Is it trying to keep getting a step closer to the championship? What runs through your mind the most?
You know, it's definitely the guys in the locker room. You know, we've been playing since we were kids, in high school and, jumped on the Leafs. And we want to win it as a core, as a group. A lot of people saying this is the last dance. I mean, it could be, right? So depends on how the rest of this year goes. But I always love playing for Toronto and keeps me coming back every year.
I know you were trying to get the bat going in this series. You did last game. You got the home run. How big is that, and how much better do you feel after getting that?
Needed to get the monkey off the back there. I mean, it was a struggle. I've been struggling in the playoffs, but I know it's just going to take one at bat, and I think that was a big one to bring out the choo-choo.
What's the key to success, you think, for you guys here tonight?
Keep the ball in the park, big time. We got our number one ace, Alvarado, on the mound, and we just got to hit and get some runs early on and just coast after that.
Great. Thanks, John.
Thanks, man.
Oh, good to hear from John Salazzo trying to bring out the choo-choo, as he said right there. That's the big home run power that John Salazzo possesses. This guy has some power on the mound as well. It comes in the form of a hard fastball and a really nasty slider/slurve. Welland Alvarado, he was great in his first start against the Welland Jackfish. The Maple Leafs are going with their ace here in an elimination game.
Well, he was the league leader in ERA in the regular season, so with your back against the wall, why not go with him? Like you said, Welland Alvarado, last time out, 7 1/3, no runs allowed. That was back in game number 1 that the Leafs actually did take. So let's see if he can bring it again. We know how good that off-speed pitch is, and we know how pivotal it is when he mixes it with that good fastball. So we'll see how he is today.
Yeah, a young lefty pitcher on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. 2000-born pitcher standing at 6'2" on the mound for Toronto. Led the Intercounty Baseball League in the regular season in earned run average at 2.36. Welland Alvarado has countered that with an ERA of 3.11 in the playoffs so far. In the 3 games that he's pitched, none bigger than this one in his IBL career.
For sure, and it's crazy to kind of think of where we are right now with Alvarado, considering how the season started. It was a lot of struggling with command, trying to figure out, where he would be in this Maple Leafs pitching staff. Started out in the bullpen, now their top starter, and a guy, you want to look for.
Hogan Brown is going to lead things off for the Welland Jackfish. Their offense has exploded over the last couple of games, scoring 15 against the Toronto Maple Leafs in Welland. A much-needed off day for this Maple Leaf pitching staff. First pitch from Alvarado is pounded right down the middle for strike 1. And there's one that just went over the head of Hogan Brown. That was the slider that Welland Alvarado didn't have a great grip on there. For a lot of these Maple Leafs players, they're kind of calling this the last dance this season in the Intercounty Baseball League. The Maple Leafs have had one of the most potent lineups in the IBL over the last couple of years. Jordan Castaldo, remember, he is retiring after this season. Not just a legend with the Toronto Maple Leafs. He started and will end his career here, but a legend with the Barrie Baycats as well. This is the 2-1. That one's low. Johannes Alvarado has just missed with 3 sliders here against Hogan Brown.
And you said it, Jordan Castaldo, that is, inducted as one of the top 100 players in the IBL. He is a very, very good player, and he's been very good for the Leafs over his entire tenure.
3-1, fouled off. That one got a piece of Justin Mara, so the count runs full.
And really the early indication that we know when Johannes Alvarado is feeling comfortable on the mound is how that slider is coming out of his hand. Obviously, so far in this at-bat, you've seen him kind of just slip it or over-grip it where it's going into the other batter's box.
Does he go back to it here after missing with 3? Here's the 3-2, slider fouled off. He went right back to the well, and that one he got on top of well.
That's what you want to see out of him. You want him to have that confidence in that pitch, because when he has it, he's a very, very good pitcher.
Another 3-2, high chopper to Jordan Castaldo. Out number 1. Boy, Hogan Brown has been a tough bat to get out. Johannes Alvarado gets a big out number 1. Hogan Brown hitting .310 in the playoffs. Brings up Ethan Hunt hitting .392 and 24 ABs.
Yeah, and this top 3 really for the Welland Jackfish have just kind of propelled this offense. You look at them, Hogan Brown, Ethan Hunt, and Carlos Martinez on deck. These 3 guys have been very, very good.
The first pitch to Ethan Hunt, in there for a strike. It's 0-1. It was a blistering hot, sunny afternoon here at Dominico Field. Then we had some rain, and it cooled things down. Now it's a nice temperature here for this evening affair. Benicio fields one on the ground to first, 2 away. A tidy first 2 outs for Johannes Alvarado. While we have a minute, let's take a look at the lineup for the Welland Jackfish here this evening. Hogan Brown leading off, and then Ethan Hunt, who we just saw. Carlos Martinez is at the plate right now. Steven Moretto at first base. Mateo Porcelato, Caleb Fiersteak, James Smybert at shortstop. Tyler Dupuis is at second base. And Gio Morello is in the 9 spot playing center field. Tyler Dupuis in the lineup playing second base. We didn't see him last time in game 1. Mateo Porcelato was in that spot at second base. Last game at Dominico Field, I should say.
And you look at that lineup up and down, only 2 guys batting under 300.
A liner, and it skips off the glove of Jose Benicio. He was going to have to make a heck of a play to pick that one out of the dirt. And there's a base runner with 2 outs here for the Jackfish.
As I was saying that, he might have raised his batting average over 300 now, as it was Carlos Martinez. He was batting 280.
Talk about what Tyler Dupuis has done in this series so far, heading .400 right now in the playoffs through 20 at-bats. I think he's cemented his position there at second base. Pitch is in the dirt to Steven Moretto, who in game 2 found the short porch out there in left. Hammered a ball that had plenty of distance over the wall. It was just a matter of whether it was going to stay fair or not. Blew the game open for the Welland Jackfish back in game 2.
Yeah, and we all know Welland's offense, how good it is and how deep they are, really 1 through 9, and even some of the bench. And they're showing it so far in this round here against the Maple Leafs.
Counts 2-0. And Moretto hits one hard on the ground, but foul past John Salazzo at third base. Jose Benicio at shortstop, Dan Mara at second base, and Jordan Castaldo at first. The same infield that the Maple Leafs have seen almost day in and day out for the last maybe 3 years now. Guess Jose Benicio wouldn't have been a Maple Leaf in 2021, but he's been the shortstop just about every single inning of every single game out there for Toronto.
And it's well deserved too. We know how good Jose Benicio is at defense, but also his bat in the lineup in that leadoff spot is pivotal.
The 3-1. Fouled off. Jesse Hodges is playing left field for the Maple Leafs. Connor Lewis out in center. Ryan Dos Santos, who has been moving around between center and right field, is in right for the Maple Leafs. Here's a big 3-2 pitch here to Steven Moretto, who has some pop. And it's inside ball 4 after a tidy first 2 outs for Wilhenis Alvarado. He's now allowed 2 base runners, a single by Carlos Martinez, and now the walk.
And you were mentioning the outfield there for the Leafs, and then the infield, typically the same as we've seen basically all season long. Salazzo at third, Vinicio at short, Dan Mara at second, Jordan Castaldo at first, and then Justin Mara manning behind the plate.
Talked to Justin Mara before the game. We'll actually hear from him between innings, but he was saying that he was very happy to get a day off. You know, catching 2 days in a row is something, you know, it's hard on the knees. Here's the 1-0. And that one misses inside to Mateo Porcelato. Porcelato hit .333 in the regular season through 41 games for the Jackfish. 153 at-bats. Porcelato was 1 for 5 last game. And he fouls it off.
And it really looks like that off-speed pitch is working for Alvarado. We've seen it kind of miss just on the outside half, and that just might mean he's holding it for maybe a millisecond or a second too long, where it just cuts, just missing that outside corner.
Porcelato has managed to get a hit 1 time in each of the games in the postseason, except for 1 against Brantford. And he won't reach base this time because Alvarado just painted a nasty slider over the inside corner to get himself out of a little bit of trouble in the first inning. Now we hear from Justin Mara, who I had a chance to sit down with before the game. All right, here with Justin Mara from Toronto Maple Leafs. Justin, what are your thoughts coming into this game? I mean, your backs are against the wall. How much do you guys want to keep the season going here tonight?
Yeah, we're going to leave it all on the field today, you know. I mean, we're pretty confident in the matchup we have. We know Will's going to give it everything he's got. But we can't take it for granted, right? We got to go out there, we got to play hard, we got to make good plays. But we're going to give it everything we have to make sure the season stays alive for sure.
Can you tell us a little bit about what we've seen from Wilhenis Alvarado this season? I know your first impression of him, I talked to you earlier in the season, you said, man, that slider's really good.
Yeah.
What more have you seen from him this season?
You know what, just all around, incredible composure. Stuff doesn't go his way, he gets the ball, gets back on the mound, makes a good pitch. The slider is devastating for sure, but it plays off his fastball. He's got some incredible movement on his fastball. So going from the fastball to the slider, just keeping hitters off balance, it's just incredible what he's been able to do. And it was a pleasure catching him all season, and hopefully we can keep it going.
You got a home run last game. I know you guys got the loss, but I know you were also trying to get the bat going in this series as well. How good did it feel to hit the homer?
Yeah, for sure. It's an ongoing joke, and there's been a bit of a drought for me for the home runs. I don't know if I've ever gotten that long without one, so it was definitely good to get that off the back. And then in my last at bat, nice little single the other way. So starting to see the ball a little bit better, getting some confidence, and hopefully I can just help the team.
In your opinion, what's the biggest thing for the team tonight to get the win?
It's going to be to keep it within ourselves. Don't try and do too much. Not one guy can try and do too much. Everyone do their part. Play hard and hopefully no errors. Keep clean defense and make sure we put up a few runs for Will for sure.
Great, thanks, Justin.
No problem.
So it's Ben Abram who takes the hill for the Welland Jackfish, and boy, an imposing presence on the mound, standing at 6'8" out of Georgetown, Ontario. Ben Abram, also a 2000 born pitcher, a young guy, but a guy who's been real good. MLB drafted as well, 37th round in the MLB draft. This could be a tough test for the Maple Leafs tonight.
And you see his 2023 stats right there, 2-1 record, and he has that 1.58 ERA with the 1.01 WHIP. Those are pretty impressive stats, and I mean, it shows, you know, he's a very intimidating presence on the mound, and the Maple Leafs are going to have to try to get something going against him.
But he is a right-handed pitcher to a very left-handed heavy Toronto Maple Leafs lineup, so that's one thing that will play into their favor. As here's Jose Vinicio, who takes low, ball 1. Ben Abram had a good regular season, but a very short one for the Welland Jackfish. Here's the 1-0. And Vinicio pops this one up. This might be in play at third base, and it's beyond the reach of the third baseman, Ethan Hunt. Ben Abram pitched in just 5 games for the Welland Jackfish in the regular season, but man, he had some long outings. His first one was 4 innings. Then he went all 9 against the Kitchener Panthers and a 7-inning outing against the Barrie Baycats. So this is a guy who can not just, eat innings, but in a very high-quality manner. But you look at a guy like this, even if the Welland Jackfish were to lose this game, the key would be not to blow up the bullpen.
Exactly. The bullpen, you basically hope would be well rested with him on the mound.
Vinicio gives this one a bit of pop out there to left field, but it's plenty of room for the left fielder Hogan Brown. So the lineup for the Toronto Maple Leafs goes as follows. Jose Vinicio there leading things off. Justin Mara, who hit a home run last game, is looking to get things going with the bat, but says he feels much better now after getting the home run. Jordan Castaldo, the veteran, trying not to make this the last game he plays in the Intercounty Baseball League. He's at first base. Then Garrett Takamatsu at DH. John Salazzo will also hit the home run. Jesse Hodges, Connor Lewis, Dan Mara, and Ryan Dos Santos is batting 9th.
And you look at their lineup compared to the Welland, obviously the averages are a little bit different. Welland's been very hot all playoff long. And you look at some of the Maple Leafs bats, they haven't woken up yet. We know how good this offense is once they're clicking on a full scale. They're just, missing that one piece right now.
Yeah, and in fairness to the Toronto Maple Leafs, the previous series that these two teams played was a lot different.
Yeah.
The Toronto Maple Leafs had to play Claudio Custodio 3 times.
It's never an easy task.
And their series 2 out of the course of, I guess, 1 game, but that one's outside. And they played some tight games against the Guelph Royals and scored a lot of their runs via walks. There's a lot of things that aren't contributing to those averages. Well, the Welland Jackfish earned their first place spot in the IBL, so they got to play the last place Brantford Red Sox. Here's the 3-0. And that one's in there for a strike, just catching the outside corner.
And then one more thing to note there about Ben Abrams. You were talking about the games he pitched where he went 8 and 9 innings. Well, he did that against the Kitchener Panthers and the Barrie Baycats, the 2 teams that were fighting on the other side for that IBL final spot.
Justin Mara is going to take the walk. Yeah, the IBL finals has its first opponent, the Barrie Baycats, sweeping away the Kitchener Panthers as we take a look at the defense for the Welland Jackfish. Hogan Brown out there in left, Steven Moretto, or Gio Morello, I should say, in center field. Caleb Fiersteak is in right. Ethan Hunt at third base, James Smybert at shortstop, Tyler Dupuis at second base, Steven Moretto at first, and Carlos Martinez is doing the catching here tonight. Here's Jordan Castaldo. First pitch is just outside. Ben Abram has lost a little bit of control, walking Justin Mara on 5 pitches, and now a first pitch that missed the target that Carlos Martinez had set. I was in the Maple Leafs locker room before the game today, kind of expecting there to be, some tension with this being the potential last game that they end up playing here at Dominico Field. And there's a real desire to keep this group together, and there's a lot of players that have played together for a long time. Even guys that have played with Jordan Castaldo, I think they'll miss his veteran presence, even helping out on the coaching side of things with the Maple Leafs this year. But it's not tense in the locker room. It was very loose. It was really kind of like any other game.
Yeah, when you look at this team, you know it's a special bunch. You know, the pitching is very good. Offense, we've seen it at times throughout the year. It's very, very good. And the big thing with the group was, can they click at the same time? Can the pitching come through when the offense is on fire, and then vice versa? We saw it click at one portion. Now we got to see it happen right here to close out this series.
Jordan Castaldo behind in the count 1-2. And that one's upstairs. Garrett Takamatsu is waiting on deck. The wind has completely died down here at Tom Nico Field. It's still pretty warm. With that being said, the ball will be carrying. Jordan Castaldo has excellent power to the opposite field. Here's the 2-2 from Abram. And that one's up and in. And maybe Ben Abram has that opposite field power that Jordan Castaldo possesses in the back of his mind, as he's been clearly trying to pound him in. In fact, Carlos Martinez, when he missed outside, went out to the mound and said, hey, maybe don't miss that side.
Yeah, and we saw Ben Abrams miss a bunch of pitches like that on the outer half, and then ever since, it's been all inside.
He fouls this one off, got a pitch on the outer half. And if this isn't the most Jordan Castaldo-esque thing, I don't know what is. He was down in the count 1-2. Now it's 3-2. He's fouled off a couple pitches, and Ben Abram hasn't even really missed the mark after being up 1-2. Here's the full count to Castaldo. Runner is going. Justin Mara throw down. Not in time. Jordan Castaldo was rung up on the pitch, but a stolen base for Justin Mara, his second of the playoffs, and the Maple Leafs have a runner in scoring position.
Unfortunate break right there for Castaldo, but good speed on the base paths right there by Justin Mara, and a nice slide to get under that tag.
Garrett Takamatsu, especially early in the season, did an excellent job of going the other way, trying to find that gap between second base and first, and he fouls it off. That would likely be enough to score Justin Mara, but he'd have to put it in the right spot, and he would have to make sure he doesn't hit it too sharply. An excellent playoffs for Garrett Takamatsu, hitting .310 in his 29 at-bats. Here's the 1-0. Takamatsu hits one on the ground. High hop! Throw to first in time. Oh, what a beautiful play by James Smybert, as he just got one of the most wicked hops you will ever get at Dominico Field. Jumps in the air, brings it down, keeps a scoreless inning for Ben Abram and the Welland Jackfish. 0-0 as we head to the second inning here at Dominico Field. Now. Pitch is over the outside corner. That was filthy. Strike 3 called. Really talented pitcher, and he has good stuff. Really good stuff. Over the outside corner for a strike. That's 4 consecutive strikes now from Alvarado. Breaking ball just missed inside.
That was a filthy, filthy breaking ball.
Yeah.
That's how you know it's a good, again.
Oh.
Oh my Lord.
Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, inside corner, strike 3 called. That's here at the broadcast booth. Here's the pitch, strike 3 called. Well, Genis Alvarado strikes out the side. So just one more from you. We saw Alvarado have a tough outing this first one. That fastball's pretty fast and that slider's pretty good. Can you tell us what those pitches look like from your perspective?
Yeah, they are really good. I mean, that's a guy that we're lucky to have on the team now. His fastball is really good, and he uses it effectively, right? So when he's pounding the fastball, he's hitting the zone, he's getting ahead of guys. It just makes that slider all that more effective. So I'm glad to see he's kind of turning around. That first outing was a bit shaky, but you cut a guy some slack. He's coming off a plane. He's a long flight. He's getting used to the hitters, but it's going to be good for us for sure.
Juanes Alvarado back out on the mound, facing Caleb Fiersteak, and the first pitch is swung on and missed. That's the breaking ball there from Alvarado.
And really the duel on the mound right now is between two different kind of pitchers. Alvarado really works over that slider, and there it is once again. And then you see Ben Abrams, that hard, heavy fastball. So it's the very, opposite tails.
Yeah, Fiersteak was way out in front of that slider. Twice in a row, 0-2. Fastball that time, but he missed outside. James Smybert's on deck, and then Tyler Dupuis this inning for the Welland Jackfish. Alvarado has had two good-looking sliders. Here's a third that's chopped to first and in foul territory, Jordan Castaldo. So it remains 1-2.
When you see Alvarado pitching, he has a very quiet mechanics. And what I mean by that is everything he does in his windup, it's very controlled and it's very, structured.
Ahead in the count, 1-2 is Alvarado. And it's a line drive. Vinicio dives. Throws to first in time. A thing of beauty from Jose Vinicio for out number 1.
And we're so prone to seeing it there right from the shortstop, Jose Vinicio, and he just does it again. Makes it look effortless, and the great throw across the diamond.
That was really clean by Jose Vinicio. He dove, made the catch, and knew exactly how much time he had to throw that ball to first base. And he was hyped up. He got a little fist bump after that as well. Jose Vinicio's locked in here early on. Slider from Alvarado misses.
Like we keep mentioning, I'm sure all the players know, their backs are against the wall. This game means just a little bit extra.
1-0. 1-1. Well, Juanes Alvarado has a nasty breaking ball and a hard fastball, which you would associate with a lot of strikeouts normally, as there's the nasty breaking ball and a swing and a miss. Not the case, though, for Juanes Alvarado. He will go many starts where he goes 7 innings and doesn't even get to 5 strikeouts. Over 17 innings pitched in the playoffs, Alvarado just 9 strikeouts and 6 walks. He gets a lot of soft contact. Misses that time, and visibly frustrated with his delivery. He'll take a walk around the back of the mound and regroup. Counts 2-2 on the shortstop, James Smybert, who made a great play of his own last inning to get the Welland Jackfish out of a bit of a jam. Now he fouls one off. That's the kind of weak contact you get with Alvarado. He throws the slider. They're able to get to it, but the speed change or maybe just the break is what gets him out in front, and you'll see a lot of ground balls.
And that has to do with all the movement he has in his pitches. Not only does the slider move, but the fastball has good life to it as well.
2-2, strike 3 called. Juanes Alvarado has a couple Ks in his first 2 innings, both of them looking.
Again, it's that movement on that slider, especially if you're facing a lefty. It's very hard to read, and it's very hard to pick up out of the hand because it looks like it's hitting you in your front hip, and it has so much bite and so much curve to it that it just lands off that inside corner.
So now he'll be faced with a right-handed batter, Tyler Dupuis, who fouls it off. Tyler Dupuis, not the tallest guy in the world, stands at 5'7", but boy, is he ever hitting the baseball in the playoffs. Through 5 games, he has 8 hits and 20 at-bats, and 8 hits. He's also scored 7 times for the Jackfish.
You know what they say, height doesn't measure heart. There's a couple players in the majors right now that are proving that.
Yeah. 0-1. Slider for a strike. You could see the knees of Dupuis buckle. Not necessarily that he was fooled by that pitch, just that he was kind of acknowledging how much break it had on it.
And the really scary thing about that slider is it can break horizontally or it can break vertically. It all depends on how he releases it, and he executes that game plan really, really well.
2-0, fastball, and he blew it by him. Well, Hennis Alvarado, a 1-2-3 inning, tied 0-0 as we head to the bottom of the second inning. It's the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Welland Jackfish. Jackfish leading the series 2-1. Maple Leafs trying to stay alive. That should be coming out at some time this week. His thoughts is this one's hammered deep to right field, and it's way out of here. John Salazzo, the Orange Blossom Special, hits a 3-run homer, and it's 6-2.
That ball landed on the infield of the diamond behind the right field wall.
Wow, that's one of the longest home runs we've seen by anyone at Dominico Field. John Salazzo got every stitch of that baseball, and he hit it deep onto the Little League diamond. There's a game going off over there. That ball was a hazard. I see you hit home runs, and a lot of the time I think it's the furthest home run that I've ever seen hit. This one today really felt like it was. Where does that rank? How did that feel coming off the bat?
It honestly felt like nothing. You know, got barrel on it. He kept the hanging splitter over the plate, and I just kind of sat there and admired it a little bit, and it, you know, it just felt nice. It definitely felt nice, but probably, you know, top 10 farthest home runs I've ever hit.
John Salazzo is going to lead things off to his song, his walk-up song, the Orange Blossom Special, which he got going mid-season, and very fitting with John Salazzo being a train conductor. It's got the nice train horn in it as John Salazzo steps to the plate. Salazzo homering last game against the Welland Jackfish. Despite in a loss for his team, Salazzo happy to get on the board, and he was realizing that he was really struggling at the plate to start things out in this series. This here's the 1-0, and Salazzo takes a strike. It's 0-2 now. So John Salazzo is switching things up, not necessarily for his own personal performance because he had the home run last game, but he's going with the pink batting gloves today and just trying to switch it up. There's some other guys that are switching it up too. All three of the Mara brothers are going with, oh, there's Justin there too. I don't know if you can see, but they're going with the mustaches. There we go, yes.
That's a great shot.
Yeah, the guy with the mustache there, that's Adam Mara, and he's got a beauty. He's got the best of the three brothers. Actually, I'm not sure that Dan went with the mustache. I honestly didn't see today, but yeah, he's got the mustache going. A couple of the players have got it going, so they're switching things up, trying to change their fortunes. And I don't know, Adam. I think that should stay. That looks really good. That looks really good.
Mustaches are making a comeback.
Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Strike 3. Big fastball from Ben Abram. Jesse Hodges takes up and away. It's 1-1. 0-2 to Hodges. Jesse Hodges trying to get things going at the plate as well. Just 6 for 27 in the playoffs. And Abram lost his footing on the mound there and delivered that pitch way wide. It'll take a minute to fill in that hole that has likely been created from that plant foot from both of these pitchers. I can't imagine that Wilhennis Alvarado's stride is going in the same spot as the 6'8" Ben Abram. As there's the 1-2, and this one's a little flare out to center field. Coming in is Morello, and it falls. Jesse Hodges has himself a base hit.
And that's just a really good piece of hitting by Jesse Hodges. It looked like it was an off-speed pitch low and in the dirt, and Hodges just kind of sticks the bat out and dumps it into center field. Really good job hitting.
So he's on base for Connor Lewis. And the first pitch from Abram to Lewis. That one's rocketed down the line and in foul territory. Someone at third base just about got hit. I think, is that Merrick Deska over there at third base? Hard to tell.
I have glasses, but
Ishihara. Oh,
it's still
Ishihara.
very difficult. Is it?
Yeah, it is. Here's the 0-1. So I'm not sure if I had this correctly, but Yoshi Ishihara he's working on learning English, coming over from Japan. And you know what? He's doing pretty well, actually. I can tell that from the beginning of the season to now, his English has got a lot better. I mean, you can almost have a bit of a conversation with him. And he was talking to Grant Tamani before the game, and Grant Tamani is learning Japanese.
Feels like a very interesting conversation.
And yeah, and Yoshi Ishihara is learning English, so they've each got an app, and I think they're like comparing each other's scores on the app for learning each other's languages. It actually is Grant Tamani over there at third base.
I feel that's what was it called? Duolingo, I think is the app called.
I don't know.
I think that's the app where you can learn.
Yeah, I don't
languages.
think that's what it was. I'm not sure though, but I thought that was kind of cool. So here's the 2-2 to Connor Lewis. Swing and a miss, strike three. Ben Abram blew the fastball by him. Whew, we had that one at 95.
Yeah, he's been pounding the glove to say the least right now, and he's doing a good job. All right, now we need Dan Mara to turn around to see his mustache.
Runner goes. Jesse Hodges has his second stolen base of the playoffs. Well, that was a pretty good jump there by Jesse Hodges, and that wasn't a hit and run. He was straight stealing second base, and he got it.
That's what you love to see. Jesse Hodges gets that running game going, gets in a scoring position. We saw it in the first inning, and we see it here again.
Just a note as well, if you're new to the Toronto Maple Leafs broadcast, our radar gun is not 100% accurate, so we'll be off by a couple miles an hour here and there.
What's giving it away on this screen?
Yeah, as in we had one that just went to 131. So please don't take those numbers absolutely literally, but we've tested it out and we're usually within 2 or 3 miles an hour on the heaters. So, you know, you can
That's usually you. I'm roughly that 4 to 5 range.
Yeah. But it is close. It's not, you know, completely wrong. It is close.
We do our best up here at the top of the hill.
Line drive on a hop. Smybert knocks it down. Jesse Hodges is going to stay at third base. And although the play wasn't made there, James Smybert may have saved a run with 2 outs here in the bottom of the second. Big spot coming up here for Ryan Dos Santos. Here's the 0-1 to Dos Santos. And he hits one towards center field. Boy, he's got a lot on this one. Back at the wall, and it's off the wall. An RBI double for Ryan Dos Santos. The Maple Leafs take the lead, and they're looking for more, and they will get it. Dan Mara comes in to score, and it's 2-0 Toronto. What a big hit there from Dos Santos.
A huge hit. It gets the Leafs up by 2 early, and he turned on that fastball. We've been talking about it for the first 2 innings here, how Ben Abrams is just pumping that heavy fastball. Well, Dos Santos just sits back and drives it off the top of the wall in dead center field.
Boy, that was a few feet from leaving the yard. Either way, it cashes in 2 runs for the Maple Leafs, as that's a major AB there from Ryan Dos Santos with 2 outs in the bottom of the second. Here's Vinicio looking for more. Swings at the first pitch, and it's to the backstop.
Another thing, it'd be good to get his bat going as well. You know, he hasn't had the hottest of starts in the playoffs, but that swing right there, hopefully that can turn things around.
0-1 to Vinicio. That one finds the zone. It's 0-2. Vinicio just gets a piece of it. Still battling here behind in the count.
And this is what Vinicio does so well. In any 2-strike count, he just fights and he battles. He never gives up, and he's always just giving it his all when he's at the plate.
Vinicio crushes one on a line caught, but the Toronto Maple Leafs put together a couple of runs. Caleb Fiersteak making a nice running catch out there and right for the Welland Jackfish. The Maple Leafs 2, Welland 0 as we head to the third. Morello is going to lead things off for the Welland Jackfish here in the top of the third inning. Ryan Dos Santos with a monster double off the center field wall. Missed a home run by a matter of feet, but drove in a couple clutch 2-out RBIs for the Maple Leafs.
And for the Maple Leafs to get this offense rolling early, that's a big step for them.
Chopper to short. Vinicio can't field it. It took a wicked hop right when it hit the lip of the grass, and Morello is on base.
And even if Vinicio fielded that cleanly, I'm not sure if he was going to be able to get the ball across the diamond in time for the speedy Morello, who was hustling out of the box.
Hogan Brown's going to lead things off. Gio Morello is a massive threat to steal over there at first base, but it is the lefty Alvarado. And he goes. He got a good pitch to run on too, but the throw down is right on time, and he got him. Oh, it was a breaking ball in the dirt, and Justin Mara still threw him out at second base, and the leadoff base runner is erased here for the Jackfish here in the top of the third.
And again, Justin Mara showing off the cannon behind home plate. We've seen him throw it from his knees. That time he got his legs under it too.
Yeah.
And that throw was on point.
It was a slow breaking ball, and it was almost in the dirt. Justin Mara is just so good defensively back there for the Maple Leafs. Even if his bat isn't there, which it has been in this, or at least later in this series, he is still so valuable defensively for Toronto. I feel like that's something that goes untalked about too much. The count's 3-0 here on Hogan Brown, so the Jackfish have a good chance to put that base runner right back on first. Hogan Brown swinging 3-0, and he fouls it off towards the Bushman and left.
Yeah.
And one of them just made a fantastic catch with his cap, with that Toronto Maple Leafs ball cap he's got on.
Not only do they have fantastic cheers, but they can make some plays over there on the side of the hill.
Swing and a miss, strike three. The Bushmen are out in numbers here tonight for this elimination game. It's a perfect night to do it. Have a beverage over there on the hill.
Have a bev and enjoy some baseball.
Nice warm evening. Oh, that's perfect. So it's Ethan Hunt. And the pitch is in there for a strike. Oh, 1. It's inside.
And so far, Alvarado has just done such a good job at mixing these two pitches. You always got to remember, it is just a two-pitch arsenal, but he makes it work so well with how he can maneuver and manipulate that off-speed.
That's the off-speed, and he missed outside. Hooked that one right around the plate. Ethan Hunt is up in the count, 2-1. If he can get on base, the skilled hitter in Carlos Martinez is on deck. Hunt hits one on the ground. Dan Mara fields it to his right. Whips the throw to first. Well, it's not quite a 1-2-3 inning. He gets some help from Justin Mara, who erases the leadoff base runner, but Wilhelmus Alvarado gets the next two himself. It's the Maple Leafs 2, the Welland Jackfish nothing.
I never won in my pro career, so I never actually got to that actual championship. And
to be able to do it with this group of guys and my brothers, it would actually mean a lot more to me than winning any MVP or any championship.
This IBL career so far. This one is crushed. Oh my goodness. Justin Mara got Saharath again.
Other than Hamilton?
Well, one thing we've seen consistently from the Toronto Maple Leafs is good starts. These 4 pitchers have combined for an excellent earned run average over the playoffs. This is through 8 games, and one of the turning points that might have been in this series was the start that Dan Procopio put together for the Toronto Maple Leafs last time he was out. That was on Sunday at Dominico Field, with the Maple Leafs leading the series at the time, 1-0. Dan Procopio gave up just 1 earned run over 7 innings, but the bullpen wasn't quite able to hold it down. The Welland Jackfish, after 7, had just 2 runs, but then a big 8th and a big 9th. 8 runs between those 2 innings. That blew the doors off the game. Maple Leafs came back and threatened in the 9th inning, but the score at the time was 10-3, and that's what it finished at. And the Welland Jackfish took that momentum and had a 15-run win the next day on Monday. They blew away the Maple Leafs once again.
And again, it comes down to the pitching staff really for the Leafs. You know, the starters, they've been going in, doing their job, and then it's just something with the bullpen.
Ground ball to Dupuis. Throws to first, an easy out number 1, retiring Justin Mara.
But like I was saying, it's just something about the bullpen that the Welland Jackfish just really like to see. They've scored a lot of runs late in ball games, and that's what's kind of led to some of these lopsided scores.
Maple Leafs have mustered just 3 runs in each of their last 2 games. A good sign to see them on the board with a couple here in the first 2 innings. Garrett Takamatsu on deck with tremendous power if Jordan Castaldo can reach base. Jordan Castaldo says he goes into every at-bat with the mindset of trying to win the battle. Each at-bat is a battle, whether you reach base via a hit, a homer, a double, or even a walk. That counts to him as winning the battle. And, well, that quote really rings true to Jordan Castaldo, and you can tell that he does a really good job of that, because year in and year out, he's one of the league leaders in on-base percentage. And that's the thing that he values the most. Get on base, and then you have guys like Garrett Takamatsu and John Salazzo right behind you to try and bat you in.
And it comes down to really that just leadership mindset of just continue to pass the torch. Whatever I can do, pass it to the next guy, and so on and so forth. Get the runs on the board and, you know, get on base.
It's a very team-oriented attitude for Jordan Castaldo. He hits one in the air. This one's looping towards left, and he's on base with 1 out here in the bottom of the 3rd inning. Took that fastball the other way and found a nice landing zone in the outfield. So Garrett Takamatsu, with that big power, will step to the plate.
Last time up, Takamatsu hit that ground ball to shortstop that took the wicked hop, and Smybert was able to glove it, just jumping in midair.
And he fouls the first pitch off. Garrett Takamatsu was one for 4, and then the Maple Leafs 15-3 loss against the Jackfish on Monday. has just the one hit in his last 8 at-bats. Throw over to first. Abram will check on Jordan Castaldo at first base, who is by no means a speedster, but is a crafty player, and he'll take the 90 feet if he can get it. But with one out here in the third and some of the Maple Leafs' best bats coming up, I'm not sure that he'd be willing to take that risk. Garrett Takamatsu behind in the count 0-2. If there has been something that's been an issue for him in the playoffs, it hasn't been the batting average or the hits, it's been the strikeouts for Jordan Castaldo. And he takes just inside 1 and 2. 10 strikeouts and his 27 ABs.
Yeah, Takamatsu, like you said, he's been very, very good all playoff long. It's just those strikeout numbers kind of creeping up on him.
One, two. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Garrett Takamatsu had a long look at it, but he'll pass the baton over now to John Salazzo with a runner on first base and 2 outs. And this is a scenario here where John Salazzo might just be looking for a pitch he likes and putting a big swing on it.
I think he's going to draw a line down the middle of the plate. Anything on the inside, turn and burn.
Which Abram has been pounding these lefties inside. But John Salazzo, you know, he hit a couple home runs to opposite field this year, but I don't think it was really that he made particularly A-plus contact. It's just the fact that he is just such a strong guy. Takes a fastball in the outside corner for a strike.
And it just looks like the fastball here from Abram is just averaging around that 88 to about, 94-ish range.
Yeah, that would check out. His 2018 scouting report, max fastball was at 90. John Salazzo crushes one to center field. See you later. A 2-run mammoth home run to dead center, and the conductor has given the Leafs a 4-0 lead.
And you see it right there. He's getting the train going. That's what you want to see out of John Salazzo. The power to dead center field for a 2-run shot.
Might be time to pre-order another set of those pink batting gloves, because he's hit a home run out in his second try with them. Yeah, John Salazzo found a fastball. It was up. It was a little bit on the inner half. And oh boy, did he ever get a hold of it. Even a high five there from starting pitcher Welland Alvarado on his way by. Jesse Hodges, a sharp ground ball right to James Smybert. 1 pitch, 1 out, but the pitch that did the damage was the inside fastball that John Salazzo hit to dead center field, and man, the exit velocity was way up. So are the Maple Leafs. 4-0, they lead over the Jackfish. RBIs on the year, and he hits one up the middle into center field for a base hit. Picked up by Ryan Dos Santos. He's coming home with it. The play at the plate, and he is out. Oh, what a throw from Ryan Dos Santos to gun down Kieran Bowles, and we remain scoreless. Marek Deska and the Toronto Maple Leafs love it. What a throw on one hop to the catcher, Ryan Burnside. Here's Carlos Martinez leading things off, trying to get a couple back here for the Welland Jackfish after the John Salazzo homer. If you were to ask me before the game which two Toronto Maple Leafs hit absolute rockets that either left or nearly left the yard to dead center field, you would guess John Salazzo. The other guy you probably wouldn't guess is Ryan Dos Santos. Man, he got a hold of that one too.
And both, like, the biggest damage that has happened is off of high fastballs, and it looks like the Maple Leafs may have a game plan when it comes to Ben Abram. It's just kind of sit on that fastball.
Makes you wonder what their approach will be against Davey Mendez if he were to enter this game today. Obviously, the Welland Jackfish would probably have to make it close or take the lead, as Carlos Martinez fouls it off to the left. But Davey Mendez has probably a harder and a little bit more flat fastball than we're seeing from Ben Abram, but it's similar. He'll go up in the zone, it's straight.
You can see Alvarado wanted that outside call.
You think so?
Yeah, you know, just the little snap when he caught the ball kind of gave it away.
Yeah. Well, he'll have to battle here. 3-2. Outside corner, strike three called. Carlos Martinez pointing at where that pitch was. He's got to be careful here. He's an important bat in the lineup, and umpires don't tend to like when you tell them where the pitch was, especially when you demonstrate it.
Especially when you're also the catcher of the other team.
Oh, yeah. That's a good point, too. Although the Welland Jackfish have a very good second option on the bench as well with James, or not James Smybert, Cocker on the bench. Steven Moretto got out in front and fouled that first pitch off to the left. So Johannes Alvarado is ahead in the count. 0-1. Out in front of this one again, and he hits it on the ground to short. Vinicio whips it to first just in time. Ooh, that was calm, cool, and collected by Jose Vinicio as he just slung that one to first base.
And that's usually how it is with Vinicio.
Yeah.
You know, if he doesn't feel like he needs to rush it, just nice little toss over there first.
Yeah, and that's something that will come with the amount and type of experience that Jose Vinicio has had in his baseball career. He was darn close to making it to Major League Baseball with the Boston Red Sox during his time in the minor leagues.
Yeah, I heard they had a shortstop in the majors.
Xander
Bogaerts?
something. Yeah.
Yeah, that guy.
But I mean, if at the time the Boston Red Sox were, you know, closer to what the Oakland A's are looking like right now, I mean, there's no question that Jose Vinicio would maybe even be starting at shortstop in his time. Here's the 1-1 to Porcelato, and he hits it in the air. This one's to center field. Connor Lewis is going to back up about 7 steps. He makes the catch, and that'll do it. Well, that's exactly what you want from your starting pitcher after the 2-run home run by John Salazzo. Johannes Alvarado shuts down the Welland Jackfish as we head to the 4th inning. Does get himself into scoring position for Vinicio, and the pitch is hit in the air. This one's high and deep to center field, and it's gone! Jose Vinicio, a 2-run homer, and it's 6-1.
And we usually see him use his speed, this time using the power.
Decent pitching experience. This one's hammered deep to center field, and it's gone! Dead center for Jordan Castaldo. A 2-run homer, and it's 8-1, and the Maple Leafs are starting to tee off. here on Skylar Janice. Started warming up a couple minutes ago, so he won't be ready yet. John Salazzo, high and deep, and it is way out of here. Takamatsu comes to the plate, and he crushes one. High and deep to center field, and it's gone! 3 in a row! Garrett Takamatsu, a line shot to center field.
The Maple Leafs are rolling. 3 home runs in a row, and they've all been deep shots.
Like, we look into that bullpen as this one's hammered by J.J. Dutton. High and deep and gone. J.J. Dutton. Well, this is the Toronto Maple Leafs and Welland Jackfish, with the Maple Leafs trailing in the series 2-1. Connor Lewis, high chopper, and it's thrown away. Down the line at first base, Connor Lewis will pull into second. That'll be an error on the throw, so at least for Connor Lewis to end up at second base. But the Maple Leafs will not care how it's scored. What they will care about is that they have a runner in scoring position to start out the 4th inning, already up 4-0 on the Welland Jackfish.
And something that goes unnoticed about that play is how much Lewis was hustling down the line. You saw Ethan Hunt at third play it back on the big hop. He looked over, saw Lewis hustling it down, tried to rush his throw, and it led to that kind of overthrow of the first baseman.
Dan Mara singled in his first at bat. He's at the plate now, and he lines one. Caught by Tyler Dupuis. Oh, what a snare on a ball that was hooking away from him. Tyler Dupuis has saved a run for now for the Welland Jackfish.
Sometimes as a hitter, you just got to tip your cap. Fantastic play right there by Dupuis.
Ryan Dos Santos had a big RBI double in his last at-bat as he steps to the plate. Sat on a high fastball by Ben Abram. And he gets another one, and he crushes it. It's going to come up just short of the wall. Ryan Dos Santos just missed it. It allows Connor Lewis to slide into third base. Boy, you know, that was a little deceiving. It was off the end of the bat, and it still got right to the wall out there in right field.
And that's still a good at-bat to have. You're able to advance the runner to third, so he's only 90 feet away. You have a guy like Jose Vinicio coming up to the dish to try to get him in. So still, another productive at-bat right there by Dos Santos.
It is, and Ryan Dos Santos, he's seeing the ball really well right now out of the hand of Ben Abram. I'm not sure if he's going to get another chance to see him, but that would be interesting. For some reason, this matchup really looks good for Ryan Dos Santos. Ball on the ground. Tyler Dupuis, he's a vacuum over there at second base. Scoops it up, throws to first. That'll do it. Abram works around a 2-base error to lead off the bottom of the 4th inning. Helps out the Jackfish to shut down the Maple Leafs as we head to the 5th. Caleb Fierstick leading things off for the Welland Jackfish, the right fielder tonight. Maple Leafs 4, Welland 0 here in Game 4. Ground ball, Vinicio scoops it up to first, one away.
And so far on the mound, Hennis Alvarado has just been dominant. Very clean innings, working ahead of batters, and just doing a really good job of just getting that off-speed pitch over the zone.
And his pitch counts at 58, one out here into the 5th inning. That's a very good number. On the ground, Vinicio scoops it up. He's got to be quick to first, just in time. Well, that was a broken back ground ball. Jose Vinicio didn't want to charge in on it because he knows better than anyone how tough some of those hops can be. But he got it to first with that strong arm from shortstop.
Also looked like he had a little slip there with his footing when he was trying to throw it over to first.
This is pitch number 60 coming here to Tyler Dupuis. And it's a check swing, and he went through it. 0-1.
That's how you know the hitters, they do not have a plan right now with Alvarado. He's attacked these hitters in so many different areas, starting off at bats with that off-speed pitch, going with that inside fastball, outside fastball.
That one bounces in front of Hennis Alvarado. So you were telling me a stat in between innings there. If you count the Gio Morello being thrown out at second base, that's 12 straight batters retired now?
Yes,
for
12
Alvarado?
straight batters retired, if you include that.
And there's a breaking ball. And again, Tyler Dupuis, we've seen him have that reaction a couple times, just not getting buckled, but buckling his knees just to kind of get a better look at that breaking ball from Alvarado. And I don't think he quite has it tracked yet.
And just to finish that comment, if you don't want to include the Gio Morello getting on base and then getting thrown out, it's been 7 straight batters.
On the ground towards first, and it's just foul. Boy, Tyler Dupuis, that swing is really Jose Altuve-like, isn't it?
Fighting off some tough pitches, staying alive. Speaking of Jose Altuve, he made history last night.
Yeah, I know. That's why I brought it up. Here's the 1-2, and that one's fouled off. Yeah, 3 home runs, and he did it in the first 4 innings of the ball game.
And I think it was 4 home runs in 4 straight at-bats or something like that. Really helped my fantasy team.
That's good.
That's for sure.
One and 2. Alvarado trying to get out of it in less than 70 pitches, but not this one. It's down the line. This could be extra bases here for Tyler Dupuis. He's heading for second. And the ball was bobbled just a little bit out in right field there by Ryan Dos Santos. So Tyler Dupuis turned on the afterburners and cruises into second base.
And then just a good piece of hitting right there. Dupuis just kind of sitting on that stuff on the outer half of the plate, and he pokes it into right field.
Alvarado has given up 2 hits, walked 1 and struck out 5 through 4 2/3. Check that 3 hits against Alvarado if you count that one right there. Ball gets away from Justin Amara, but not far enough to advance Dupuis at second base.
It's the first time he hasn't gone 3 up, 3 down since the first inning.
Gio Morello is 1 for 1. He's at the plate, and he's hitting .529 in the playoffs. The 1-1 is swung on and missed.
Yeah, he's been a very tough out for anybody that he faces.
Yeah, 1-1 now, sorry. Exactly the guy you want up at the plate with a runner in scoring position. And he's way out in front of the Alvarado breaking ball. Hogan Brown is on deck if it gets to him. Well, Hennis Alvarado trying to put a pin in the inning right here. 4-0 Maple Leafs in the top of the 5th. Here's the 1-2 pitch from Alvarado. And it's fouled to the backstop, and Gio Morello just got a hair of that baseball.
And how Gio Morello approaches his at-bats, it kind of reminds me of the early season that Luis Arias had up in the majors, where he's just kind of fouling off tough pitches, and he'll take the soft contact hits.
1-2. High bouncer. This is going to be a tough play for Dan Mara, and he will have no play. That's going to be an infield single for Gio Morello, who's 2 for 2. And Hogan Brown, who's 0 for 2 with a strikeout, comes to the plate.
And you see it there again, you know, the soft contact hits. Gio Morello, he has the speed to kind of get on base wherever that ball is hit, and he displayed it right there.
A meeting on the mound here with Wilhennis Alvarado, the first inning in a while where he's got into some trouble.
Last time he had 2 batters on base at the same time was back in the first inning. It was Carlos Martinez and Steve Moretto.
Yeah, that conversation on the mound there might have been what they do if Gio Morello decides to take off for second base. Pitch outside. Alvarado's attention is split between Morello at first and the batter Hogan Brown at home plate. The reason that could be a problem is that if the throw got away at all, or maybe even they try and score Tyler Dupuis if the Maple Leafs throw to second. Now, Justin Mara is a really good throwing catcher. Morello holds. Pitch outside corner for a strike. Even with the distraction at first base, Wilhennis Alvarado seems like he's got a pretty good handle on the strike zone right now.
He's doing a good job working these batters on the outside corner with the fastball, and that makes that off-speed pitch coming in on the lefties even harder to swing at because it looks like it's going to hit you.
So the count's 1-1. And he just missed outside.
See 3 pitches so far here to Brown, and all 3 have been on that outside corner.
That one looked like a breaking ball.
It wouldn't surprise me here if he comes in inside.
Would not be surprised to see Gio Morello running at first base as well. Here's the 2-1. He doesn't go. It's on the inside corner, and it's just inside. So it's 3-1 now on Hogan Brown, and now maybe Morello being at first base is just enough to get in the head of Wilhennis Alvarado in this at-bat. Here's the 3-1 to Hogan Brown. And it swung on and missed. Oh, that was a gutsy call to go to the breaking ball there on the 3-1 pitch. Hogan Brown clearly sitting on the fastball.
Yeah, and he has a lot of trust with that breaking ball especially. And that's what those early fastballs in the count do. When you have that breaking ball break that much on the outside, as a hitter, you think it's going to be a strike.
If he throws the breaking ball and locates it here, I think he's got him. But we'll see if he goes to it. Here's the 3-2 pitch. Breaking ball, but he didn't locate it, and the bases are loaded. Big moment here for the Welland Jackfish. They have the tying run coming to the plate in the form of Ethan Hunt, but they would take any kind of a hit right now, at least just to get the offense started.
And I don't think that was a very poorly placed off-speed pitch either by Alvarado. You got Hogan Brown to bite, thinking that it was going to hit him. You know, if it just broke a little bit more onto that inside corner, that's strike 3 looking, and the Maple Leafs are going to hit.
Alvarado throws pitch number 77, and it's a breaking ball and a good one over the outside corner. The last thing you want to do is fall behind in the count here to Ethan Hunt with the bases loaded. At one point, Alvarado was 1 pitch away from getting out of this inning with 64 pitches thrown through 5. Here's the 0-1, and it misses inside. It's 1-1.
Again, the pitch mix has looked really, really good. You like to see that inside breaking ball on right-handers hitters and then having that fastball low.
Hunt hits one on the ground. Vinicio fields it, flips to second, and the Maple Leafs get out of it. Johannes Alvarado loads the bases with 2 outs and then gets out of trouble. He'll likely be back out for at least another inning of work, but the bats for the Maple Leafs coming up. They're trying to extend the lead. It's 4-0 Toronto. Perez delivers, and that one's lined into the outfield. Jose Vinicio does get on base. There goes Jose Vinicio. Throw down to second base is not in time. Vinicio is in there. He got a great jump at first base. Here's a ground ball. It's a chopper, and it gets through. Runner on second base. First pitch. This one's hit into the outfield. It's dropping, and it will fall. There goes the runner. Pitch is hit on the ground, and it finds a hole. Jose, you lead the league in stolen bases this season. When you get on base, how often are you trying to swipe second or third base?
¿Cuántas veces cuando estás en primera base estás pensando robar segunda?
Siempre, depende de la situación de juego, pero siempre estoy pensando llegar a segunda o tercera, ponerme más cómodo para el bateador que está en home plate para que me pueda traer la carrera.
So he says pretty much every time he's not only thinking about second, he's also thinking about third base. What he really wants to do is pick up his teammates, make them feel more comfortable, get them an RBI type situation.
Well, Dan Mara comes to the plate. Maple Leafs trying to stave off elimination here against the Welland Jackfish as he takes a first pitch strike from Ben Abram. Well, Johannes Alvarado, boy, he got himself into some trouble. Not that he looked bad. It was just an infield hit, a soft single, and a walk, all with 2 outs. And those are the kind of moments where you didn't really make any bad pitches, but sometimes things don't go your way. That's baseball. Well, Johannes Alvarado bared down, battled through it. He threw a couple extra pitches that he wouldn't have liked to, but he still came away, and that's a huge turning point in this ballgame.
And you got to remember who he's facing, right? It's the Welland Jackfish. This team has been very good all year long, and they kind of proved it in that inning. He made good pitches. It's just they were able to, hold off on some of those there was borderline breaking balls.
Ground ball, Tyler Dupuis, what a snare, and he throws to first in time. Well, this is what we saw from John Salazzo just a couple innings ago. Ben Abram on the mound, Salazzo giving the Toronto Maple Leafs a 4-0 lead with this swing right here. That's where we stand as of right now. John Salazzo with home runs in back-to-back games.
Safe to say the pink batting gloves are staying.
Jordan Castaldo is at the plate now. Ben Abram ahead in the count 0-1. Heck of a play there by Tyler Dupuis for out number 1.
Yeah, strong throw too. I would have loved to have the radar gun on that one.
Yeah, he had to throw a rocket over there to first base.
Well, I wouldn't say the weather's extremely humid.
It's pretty humid.
There's a nice wind.
Castaldo fouls it off, and he's battling. We saw this in his last at-bat where he was behind at the count 1-2, and he worked it all the way back to 3-2. Castaldo is 7 for 22 in the playoffs with a bunch of walks. One, two. Check swing, he fouls it off. Castaldo he's putting up a fight here.
Do whatever you can to stay alive, and that's just Jordan Castaldo in a nutshell.
Jordan Castaldo, this is incredible. He has half the amount of walks as he has at-bats. 11 walks and 22 at-bats coming into this game in the playoffs.
Wow.
Line drive to center field, and he won the battle again. His second hit. Jordan Castaldo he's doing a lot to help out his team. And remember, if the Maple Leafs don't win this game, Jordan Castaldo doesn't have another game in the Intercounty Baseball League.
Yeah, I think it's safe to say he's not ready to retire just yet.
He's not ready yet. I asked Jordan Castaldo in an interview earlier in the season. I sat down with him and took some guts, but I mustered up the courage to ask him if he needed to win another championship to retire. He said no. But there was a bit of hesitation.
Well, we're holding on to that hesitation.
So maybe cross that bridge when we get there. I don't think anyone wants Jordan Castaldo to... I don't think a lot of people don't know what the Intercounty Baseball looks like without Jordan Castaldo. He's been in this league for a long time, and he's been a star in this league for a long time too. Here's a flare into the outfield, but that one's going to be caught by Caleb Fiersteak. Garrett Takamatsu is retired. Jordan Castaldo winning the Triple Crown in 2019. There's not a lot of players that have done that in the IBL. In fact, I think he was the last one to win the Triple Crown in the Intercounty Baseball League as well. John Salazzo took his crack at the Triple Crown this year. In fact, John Salazzo was 1 RBI short of a Toronto Maple Leafs franchise record. Actually, I think an IBL record set by Sean Riley. He had 48 of them this season, and the Toronto Maple Leafs didn't play their last game against the Brantford Red Sox.
Think that's in the back of the mind of any of the players?
No, it wasn't in the back of the mind of John Salazzo. You'd think that's something that was, but I really don't think he cares about it too much.
Yeah, once it flipped to the playoffs, I'm pretty sure you talked with him, and
yeah.
He's like, and he was fully just, playoff baseball.
A home run in the third. And he hits one sharply up the middle for a base hit. Jesse Hodges comes to the plate. He also had a hit back in the 4th inning, or 3rd inning. 2nd inning.
You're getting closer and closer. I had to look down on my score sheet. But one thing I want to note on John Salazzo's at-bats tonight is that, we know him as such a pull-heavy hitter. Both of the hits he's had, almost dead center field.
Yeah, flared one into center, took an outside fastball. It was out in front of it, but made good contact. And now he takes a strike. Jesse Hodges hit his first career IBL home run right here at Dominico Field, crushed it over the left field wall in July. 0-1. Hodges takes outside.
Not to mention he also stole a base tonight, displaying the speed.
Yeah, he did that in the series against Guelph too. And he takes a strike over the inside corner, so it's 1-2. Ben Abram has given up a couple of singles here in this bottom of the 5th inning. With the way that Welland Jackfish offense has been rolling over the last 2 games, they still have a decent shot at this game. Hodges hits one in the air. This one's deep to center field, and Morello makes the catch with his back against the wall. Abram escaping danger there against Jesse Hodges, who just missed it, and the speedy Gio Morello in center field is able to track it down. It's 4-0 Toronto Maple Leafs over the Welland Jackfish.
Welcome back to Maple Leafs baseball. Well, Hennis Alvarado steps back on the mound for his 6th inning of work. He starts off the first batter here with a strike on the breaking ball on the inside half. That's Carlos Martinez leading things off for the Welland Jackfish. Tries to get that corner once again, but it's going to be missing wide here. Evened up at 1-1 is the count. Alvarado doing a good job mixing in that off-speed pitch. Continuously having that vertical break against the righties and then that horizontal one against the left-handed batters.
Benicio scoops this one up. Goes to first, out number 1.
And again, Jose Vinicio he's had a busy day so far today. I believe that's his 5th or 6th. Hold on, I got to count here. 1, 2, 3. 7. He's had 7 ground balls hit to him.
John Salazzo has 0.
They're pulling the ball, just not pulling it enough.
Yeah. And some of them have been of the spectacular variety as well.
There was a diving catch, yes.
0-1. Check swing. No swing. Alvarado is at 85 pitches in the top of the 6th. His 1-1 is over the outside corner. It's 1-2. Alvarado is on 4 days rest as well for the Maple Leafs. He started game 1, which is not too bad, but definitely less than he's used to. Here's the 1-2. In the air, but it's foul down the right field line.
Almost a really nice barehanded catch on the hill. Fan went for it, and I think it hit his hands. Somebody bring that man an ice pack.
Yeah, there's a nice contingency of Welland Jackfish fans here down that right field line as well. 1-2. This one's crushed. Left field. Hodges at the wall, and it's gone. Steven Moretto has left the yard for in consecutive games here at Dominico Field. He did it in game 2, and he's brought the Jackfish within 3 here in game 3.
And he did it in similar fashion. He got a pitch on the inner half, and he just turned and burned. Really, that's the first mistake we've seen Alvarado throw all day.
And will this open the floodgates a little bit for the Welland Jackfish? This will be a test here for Alvarado. He faces Mateo Porcelato. And he takes way inside, ball 1. Johannes Alvarado wants a new baseball.
It's always the baseball.
Could be.
One of the seams sticking out a little bit too much. Another one not having them popped out enough.
Not enough of that Major League Baseball mud everyone's talking about. Where does that mud come from?
It's the dirt rub.
Yeah, but it's like a river somewhere that they get all the
I actually didn't know that.
MLB baseball mud. We'll get our stats guy on it. 2-0. That's a strike. It's 2-1.
See, what I did in college was, my coach, if we had any brand new, we called them gems. If we had any brand new gems, we would just get some dirt and rub it. The Delaware River.
Yeah, that's it. That's it. Yeah, thanks, Gus. 3-1 is the count now on Porcelato.
Gus Cousins wears a lot of hats on this broadcast.
Tonight, it's a Maple Leafs hat. 3-1, misses outside, ball 4. So Mateo Porcelato heads down to first base. He has a walk after the home run. That's going to cue Sam Green to come to the mound to have a word with Wilhennis Alvarado. So Wilhennis Alvarado came up through the Toronto Blue Jays farm system. Made it as far as Double-A baseball. And the interesting thing with Sam Green is that Sam Green actually would have seen Wilhennis Alvarado pitch before he even came to the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is Alvarado's first year in the Intercounty Baseball League. Sam Green works with the Toronto Blue Jays. He watches a lot of the minor league pitchers to kind of scout out different arms. And Alvarado would have crossed his eyes a couple times when he was watching that minor league video, you would have had to think. Caleb Fiersteak hits a high chopper. Castaldo has it. He's just going to put the tag on Fiersteak, who tried an acrobatic move to get out of the way. That'll be the second out.
And that's what you like to see if you're a pitching coach like Sam Green. You go out there, talk to your pitcher, calm him down, and the first pitch after the meeting, it's an out.
Sam Green had a 2-inning save against the Welland Jackfish in game 1 in Welland. That's the only win that the Maple Leafs have in this series so far. And man, he was terrific, coming in the 11th and the 12th inning and preserving the 1-run lead that the Maple Leafs were able to take. in inning number 12. 1-0. Low.
And 2 pitches right there that could have gone either way. This time going in the way of Welland. He has good life, that off speed.
James Smybert is at the plate. And he takes a strike. James Smybert is 0 for 2 with a strikeout, but batting .379 in the playoffs. He's also done a good job defensively at shortstop for the Jackfish tonight. He's ahead in the count, 2-1. And he hits one pretty well. This one's deep to right center field, and it is gone! Just clearing the fence out there in right center, and James Smybert has made it a 1-run ball game.
And that's the thing about this Welland Jackfish offense. You can never really count them out. And James Smybert, he just proved that real.
Well, there were 2 Welland Jackfish who hit home runs against the Toronto Maple Leafs back in Game 2 at Dominico Field. And that has repeated itself here in Game 4. James Smybert also has his second home run in the playoffs here at Christie Pitts. Tyler Dupuis is at the plate. He takes outside. Actually, that was called a strike on the outside corner. Dupuis is 1 for 2. He's also been really good defensively for the Maple Leafs. This one's popped up. Ryan Dos Santos is under it, battling the wind just a little bit, but circles under it and makes the catch for the 3rd out. But a big inning for the Welland Jackfish. They put up 3 against Wilhennis Alvarado, and they did it via the long ball.
Well, you've been having these 3 great starts on the mound for the Maple Leafs, so it sparked me to have a lot of conversations about you to your teammates as well. And a lot of the time when we talk about you, they say, yeah, this guy kind of came out of nowhere last year and just kind of inserted himself in the Inter-County Baseball League. We know that's not the case. You didn't come out of nowhere. What's your background in baseball, and where did Sam Green come out of coming into the IBL?
I mean, I kind of did come out of nowhere. I grew up in the States, played travel and high school ball there, but my mom's side of the family's Quebecois. So I ended up going to school in Montreal. I went to McGill, good baseball program there, and that's kind of where I, got a lot better as a pitcher, started throwing a lot harder, started getting better command. I played in, college summer leagues out in Quebec for a few seasons, and then played with some guys over there. They're like, hey, you're moving to Toronto, like there's a great league, the Inter-County, and I'd heard about it before. I had some good buddies with me that played at McGill. They played here too, or not for Toronto, but London or Kitchener and different teams. They're like, hey, there's a team right downtown Toronto, like you should, reach out to their coach. So I reached out to Topley in the winter of, before the 2022 season. I'm like, hey, here's some video of me. Well, he asked the same question you did. Where'd you come from? Like, where'd you play? I was like, well, I haven't really played anywhere super high, high level, but would love to come and throw a bullpen for you and see, see what you think. And just looking for a spot to pitch this summer. And couldn't be happier with where I ended up. Like, the Leafs are an incredible team, surrounded by an awesome team. So like I said, got bit by it last summer. It was like, I need to get better and kind of prove myself even more this year. So it's been a fun ride.
Connor Lewis leading things off for the Maple Leafs. Now they're going to want to get some runs back. 2 home runs in the top of the 6th inning. One by Steven Moretto, one by James Smybert. Smibert's was a 2-run homer, and it's a 1-run ball game at Christie Pitts. The offense for the Maple Leafs is now going to be tested once again, as the Jackfish have made it very close. Lewis is ahead in the count, 2-0. Would love to get on base to start off the 6th inning. And now he takes a strike.
And it just looks like Ben Abram is coming out, and he has a little bit more fire to him now. You can hear the glove starting to pop a little bit more.
Lewis gets into one to left, but that's going to hang up out there for Hogan Brown. Connor Lewis hit it pretty well, but it's tough to pull an outside fastball for a whole lot of power, and he came up about 15 feet short there of the wall.
Put a good swing on it like you said, and you can kind of see the flags right there. Not a lot of wind blowing in. There's a bit.
Dan Mara steps to the plate. Dan Mara is 1 for 2. He's also scored one of the Leafs' 4 runs. No action in the Maple Leafs bullpen yet. Alvarado up over 90 pitches. Ben Abram is at 82 pitches right now. The 1-1 to Mara is just outside, 2-1.
And there is action over there in the Jackfish bullpen. Chris Boato is warming up.
Two 2-1 is up and away. Actually, that was 3-1, so now that's ball 4. Mara down to first base. That brings up Ryan Dos Santos. Dos Santos. And that one is going to find its way into the outfield. Ryan Dos Santos racing for second. Dan Mara is going to glide into third. And Ryan Dos Santos is aboard once again.
And again, it's hard contact off the bat of number 3. This time he goes the other way on the ground, and the shortstop just cannot handle it.
Well, let's take another look at it right here. Actually, that was the pitch before. That's my bad, guys.
Still working on the newly version replay. And you see it right here.
That'll probably go as an error there on the shortstop James Smybert, who has played pretty well defensively. Could have been the second or maybe second and third outs of the inning. Now Jose Vinicio is at the plate. Infield is playing in, and he hacks the first pitch foul.
And it's the right guy at the plate, a guy who's really good at just getting the bat on the ball. There's good speed on the base paths. Anything deep enough, both runners should be able to tag up.
This is critical here that Jose Vinicio is able to cash in one of these runs. Takes way inside. Now, a walk in this scenario against Jose Vinicio wouldn't be the worst thing in the world for Ben Abram. It would set up a force out at home plate, which could be a convenient option for the Welland Jackfish. But it does bring Justin Mara to the plate, who had a home run last game. The 1-1. Vinicio hits it through the hole. That's going to cash in 1 run. Ryan Dos Santos is speeding towards home plate. The throw's cut off. He scores. Into second is Jose Vinicio. He clears the bases with a single. The Leafs have regained a 3-run lead.
And that's just great hitting by Jose Vinicio and even better base running awareness. He just takes off for second base. He knows he has the speed and he takes it. And the same thing on the base pass by Ryan Dos Santos. He was going around third, and I don't think if the stop sign was put up, I don't think he was stopping.
Well, we're going to have a pitching change here. Chris Bowato is going to enter the game. We'll be back in just a couple minutes. That's Jose Vinicio, and this is what we saw in this inning. A hard hit single by Jose Vinicio. Oh, you know what? We were looking at what happened out there in the outfield. Caleb Furstick actually bobbled that ball a little bit, which is what allowed Ryan Dos Santos to get home, and then heads up base running there by Jose Vinicio.
Yeah, and we know Jose Vinicio has a great base running IQ, and he proved it there once again. But you also got to like the send by third base coach right there, Grant Tamane.
We were kind of wondering what it was in the outfield. Now, Rob Vona, operator of the Vona Cam, brought up that Caleb Furstick actually is left-handed in the outfield, which didn't make that throw particularly easy because he was, yeah, you can see there, he was going to his right, the hand that his glove is on. But I think he also bobbled the ball as well, which was, I think, what prompted Grant Tamani to send the runner home. Chris Bowato has come in and fired 2 strikes here to Justin Mara. He's head in the count 0-2. Maple Leafs are looking for more. There's still just 1 out and a runner on second base, and that runner's Jose Vinicio, maybe the fastest on the team. That pitch is low. Chris Bowato has not given up a run in the playoffs thus far. He pitched against the Maple Leafs, but not in a high-stakes scenario back in Game 2. 1-2. Just outside, slow breaking ball that time from Bowato.
And that's a good eye right there by Mara, just kind of spitting on that breaking ball in that outside half.
Mara fouls it back. Chris Bowato has had 5 consecutive scoreless outings dating back to the regular season. He's given up just 1 earned run in his last 10 outings. That's Chris Bowato. Here's the 2-2 to Justin Mara. That one's on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Oh, this is a good guy to have at the plate right now for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Jordan Castaldo is as locked in as ever at the plate. He has 2 hits in this ball game. None of them have been thunderous base hits, but confident singles where he just found some outfield grass.
He's looked good and he's looked poised at the plate, and that's kind of just the Jordan Castaldo we're so used to seeing. He went down looking in that first plate appearance, and ever since then, he worked a really good at bat in the 3rd, and he did the same last inning in the 5th.
Chris Bowato is a lefty, so that makes things a little bit more difficult for Jordan Castaldo, but if he can reach base again, it is a righty and Garrett Takamatsu on deck. There's a breaking ball that's well high from Bowato. Check on Benicio over there at second base. No pickoff play was on. Castaldo has the benefit of a 2-0 count. Bowato's pitch. Castaldo takes outside, 3-0. Well, Jordan Castaldo can go ahead and give himself the green light in this scenario if he wants to. And this might not be a bad time to take a swing at a pitch
For
on
sure.
3-0.
Hey, look at the bullpen over there. I think they trust in Alvarado.
Way outside. Castaldo heads down to first base. It brings Garrett Takamatsu to the plate. Lefty v righty. Garrett Takamatsu coming over from the Frontier League in Quebec earlier in the season for the Maple Leafs and has been a staple in the cleanoff spot in that Maple Leafs lineup. Takamatsu has come up in some big situations for this Maple Leafs team as well. You can think of a massive home run he hit way back in Game 1 against the Guelph Royals. He'll take a strike.
His bat has been hot so far in the playoffs. We know he has the pop. We know he has the good eye.
He is 0 for 3 today. Benicio started running and now a throwback to second base. I think Chris Bowato might have thought that was coming to him.
And you look at Jose Vinicio, you know, we know how good he is on the base paths, stealing bases and everything, but I mean, the fact that he can just be a presence like that all the time is very scary for a pitcher.
1-1. Way outside. Takamatsu hits one in the air. This is going to be, well, foul and uncatchable as it's out of play.
And a good swing right there by Takamatsu, just kind of getting underneath it a little bit. He sat on that fastball, he got the pitch, and he just kind of missed the barrel just by a bit.
Garrett Takamatsu, a big part of the Toronto Maple Leafs 2021 run to the Inter-County Baseball League Finals. Didn't play in the playoffs last year with the Maple Leafs. He's trying to help them back to that finals. This time it would be against the Barrie Bay Cats. The 2-2. Way inside. Now it's a full count.
Full count, and the runners will be on the move.
Chris Bowato was ahead 0-2 at one point in this count. Can Garrett Takamatsu find a pitch he likes? Or does Chris Bowato limit the damage here in the bottom of the 6th? Full count pitch, the runners will be going. Takamatsu lines one into the outfield. That one's going to get down for a base hit and will cash in Jose Vinicio. The Maple Leafs have regained all 3 runs that were given up in the top half of the 6th inning. It's 7-3.
And just a great at-bat right there by Garrett Takamatsu. The pitches were on the outside half, fouled off a couple tough ones, and then right there just takes it to right field, gets the RBI with the speedy Vinicio, and we're right back to where we started, 2 runners on.
Oh, we've seen that base hit from Garrett Takamatsu many times before. Taking it the other way, cuts down the swing a little bit, but just makes solid contact for a line drive single the other way. John Salazzo comes to the plate. It's lefty v lefty.
And not only does this help this game right now, the lead growing back up to 4, and if they can capitalize, get some more, but you got to think of it, you know, you have that 5th game happening in a couple days, the pitching side of things.
Salazzo fouls it off. The 1-1, and Salazzo swings over the top of it.
And that's not something you want to see.
Uh-oh.
Looks like something in the hip, left hip by Salazzo right there on that swing.
Yes. John Salazzo might have felt a bit of a twinge there on that swing, but he's going to stay in the batter's box. 2-1. Swing and a miss. Oh, man. John Salazzo is feeling something right now as he's going to limp back towards the dugout. That could be a major loss for the Toronto Maple Leafs, but they do score 4 in the inning, or 3 in the inning, I should say, and they get their 4-run lead. Right back to the 7th we go. Oh, good sign for the Maple Leafs. They see John Salazzo head back over to third base. Well, Johannes Alvarado is back on the mound for the Maple Leafs. There's a bit of a stir in the bullpen. But this will be Alvarado's inning to finish, as he'll face Gio Morello, the 9-hitter, but could easily act as a leadoff hitter with his speed and batting average.
He's been on both times tonight, 2 singles.
Hogan Brown on deck.
And how big would it be if Alvarado can get through this 7th inning and it limits the usage of that bullpen?
It's Brandon Underhill getting loose. Morello just took a funky swing.
And I wonder if Morello is kind of seeing, you know, the hip of John Salazzo acting up a little bit, trying to put that bunt down the third base side.
Morello, a chopper. Dan Mara charges in. He's got some time, though. Throws to first. One away. It's Brandon Underhill over there in the bullpen. Hogan Brown is going to step to the plate for the Jackfish. He's 0 for 2, but has walked.
Yeah, and look at it again here. Hogan Brown this time also squaring around to bunt, so these batters, they see that Salazzo's kind of favoring that hip a little bit.
Oh, that's it. Yeah, that's good eye there. Swing and a miss, it's 0-2.
Doesn't matter now, 2 strikeouts.
John Salazzo is yet to receive a ground ball this game over there at third base.
I believe almost all of the ground balls minus 2 have gone to Vinicio and Mara.
This one goes to Mara. Scoops it up. Easy toss over there to first base. How about Wilhenis Alvarado coming back with a couple of quick outs here in the 7th. Well, the Maple Leafs, they don't have any reason to save Wilhenis Alvarado for anything right now. They'll pitch him as long as he feels good out there, and as long as he continues to get outs for the Maple Leafs.
So I did a little looking at the stats. There have been 12 ground balls hit, and 10 of them have been fielded by the middle infield.
Wow.
Castaldo has 2, and nobody has hit a ball yet to that third base side.
That's kind of Wilhenis Alvarado in a nutshell right there. A lot of soft contact.
It's been 12 ground balls and then 2 flyouts have been the outs minus all of the strikeouts as well.
Alvarado is through 6 2/3 now, and just 5 strikeouts, giving up 5 hits, limiting the damage, although I think the 2 home runs right now are standing pretty tall for the Welland Jackfish, keeping them in the game. Here's Ethan Hunt, and that one's on the inside corner. Strike 3 call. Look at Wilhenis Alvarado fired up as he gets through the top of the 7th inning. Oh, the Toronto Maple Leafs are starting to feel it right now, trying to force a Game 5 back in Welland. It's 7-3 Toronto. No one warming up for the Toronto Maple Leafs down in the bullpen, but is that Wilhenis Alvarado?
Yeah.
down there in the bullpen? Yeah, it is. So it looks like his day is done.
Well, he was down there earlier. He was walking around, so we'll see. He's heading back to the dugout now.
Oh, okay.
He just likes to take a little walk, you know, exercise the legs.
So we'll see. I mean, the hat off is kind of what did it for me. Jesse Hodges is at the plate. He takes up and in. Brandon Underhill is the new pitcher for the Welland Jackfish. Hodges rips one down the line foul. Brandon Underhill from Niagara Falls, Ontario. Down pretty close to where the Welland Jackfish play. Hodges, hard ground ball to third. Easy hop and toss to first for Ethan Hunt. Well, Brandon Underhill had a record of 4-0 in the regular season. Appeared in 16 games, 15 of them were relief appearances. An ERA of 3.78. Brandon Underhill will throw strikes and he'll get some contact. He pitched 35 and 2/3 innings in the regular season. Just 10 walks and 29 strikeouts. That one's a strike. Connor Lewis lines a ball into the outfield. That one's down for a base hit. Some more good contact from Connor Lewis as he's aboard with one out. That's the first hit that Brandon Underhill has allowed in the playoffs this year. He pitched two perfect innings actually against the Brantford Red Sox way back on August 26th. So even if the Welland Jackfish aren't able to come back and win this game, still good to get one of their good relievers some action here.
And one thing I want to say on that Connor Lewis hit is he's had back-to-back at-bats now where he's just sat back on a fastball and he's pulled it to left field.
Yeah.
If his bat can get going in the bottom half of the order, that's a very, very big bonus for the Maple Leafs.
Lewis is running and it's lined into the outfield. Connor Lewis will be able to cruise into third base as he was off on the pitch. He is in scoring position with one out for Ryan Dos Santos.
And out of the 9-hole, Dos Santos has had a great night.
And he swings and misses. He got a breaking ball. He's hit fastballs very well here tonight. So Brandon Underhill crossed him up there with the hook. Corners are playing in for the Jackfish. Dos Santos takes a strike and was visibly frustrated after it as well. Connor Lewis creeping down the third baseline, and there goes the runner, Dan Mara, as he slides into second base.
And I was going to say, anything on the ground that is hit, it's going to be a hard turn because there's a lot of speed on the bases and there's a lot of speed coming out of the box. But now, that doesn't matter, so the entire infield will just come in.
They didn't have a play down at second base anyway. They might as well have just stayed in for the whole AB, but they've worked the count to 2 strikes here on Dos Santos. And he's gonna flare one. This one's towards left field. It's in foul territory, and it clangs off the wall. There was really no play for anyone down the third baseline.
And it's just another life. It looked like a tough breaking ball that kind of got in on the hands, and he just kind of muscled it out there to the left field wall.
Santos 1 for 2 with 2 RBIs. Got the Maple Leafs going early on with a 2-run double. And he takes strike 3 called over the inside corner. So Jose Vinicio came up in this situation last time where he had a couple runners in scoring position. He cashed in. Vinicio takes ball 1.
And you said it, Vinicio on the day 1 for 4, but he had that big at bat last inning, which cashed in 2.
And he fouls it off. The 1-1 fouled off again. We just had a Ryan Rio sighting.
Yeah, I believe he went over into the press box.
Yeah, he's over here sizing up who his finals opponent are. The Barrie Baycats are just waiting for the winner of this series. And Barrie Baycats will play in the Dominico Cup Finals. Jose Vinicio, a single into the outfield, will cash in 2. And it's gonna roll a little further, so Vinicio will move up to second base. The offense is in full force here for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They lead 9-3.
And they've woken up, and they've woken up at a pivotal time. We've been waiting for the offense to finally explode, and it's finally happening here. 9 runs, and it's only the 7th.
And the amount of hits that the Maple Leafs have been able to string together with 2 outs against the Welland Jackfish.
And it feels like there's just a little bit of a mentality change with these hitters. It looks like, they all are going up with a plan. They have an idea of what they want to do, and it just seems like the plan is being executed to perfection right now.
Justin Mara steps in, swings and misses at the first pitch. Justin Mara is 0 for 3 tonight. Here's a 0-1 pitch from Brandon Underhill. And Mara swings and misses. Well, the Welland Jackfish will need to mount a comeback here of 6 runs in the next 2 innings. But they also will probably fancy their chances in Welland facing the Toronto Maple Leafs tomorrow. The only question now is, can Welland, I guess, do something spectacular and climb all the way back? Or how many bullpen arms are the Maple Leafs going to need to burn today? Because that has really been the story of this series. It's been close until the Maple Leafs just kind of run out of gas in the bullpen, and then things have started to stretch out for the Jackfish.
Yeah, and that's what I was bringing up earlier, is just how is the bullpen, especially with this lead now, you can kind of save some of those bigger arms.
Amara strikes out, but the Maple Leafs do some more damage. Jose Vinicio hits a 2-run single, and the Leafs, well, they lead 9-3. And he lines one towards center field. Jesse Hodges coming over, he dives, and he makes the catch, and they're gonna double him off. The play at second base, Jesse Hodges with a diving catch in the outfield continues to dazzle with the defense and gets Dan Procopio out of it jammed.
So shout
Runner
out
goes. Jesse Hodges just stole second base.
Look at that speed, wow.
He got a great jump.
Off-speed pitch, especially against lefties.
Here's a little chopper, and it's gonna fall in the outfield. Throw coming home from Jesse Hodges. On the money, he got him! Don't run on Jesse Hodges! He guns the runner at home plate for the second out.
First off, a phenomenal route by number 19 right there in left field, and then unleashes an absolute bullet.
Make it 2 outs and 2 on. And now he hits one down the line, fair ball. Jesse Hodges speeding around first base. He's gonna glide into second with a leadoff double. Well, look who's back on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's Wilhennis Alvarado, as his first pitch is bounced in for ball 1. He'll face 3, 4, 5 in the Welland Jackfish lineup, starting with Carlos Martinez, the catcher. On the ground, Vinicio fields it. Throws a long throw to first, and Martinez really wasn't running down the baseline, or he would have been safe. And either way, that's a good play by Vinicio.
And make that 8 outs by Vinicio tonight.
So this will be pitch number 114 for Wilhennis Alvarado. It's still got some life on it.
Yeah, it's been impressive. You talk about a guy that's given his all to try to help his team stay alive in the playoffs. That's what he is doing right now.
0-1. Very different pitchers, but Wilhennis Alvarado, if you're a Maple Leafs fan and you're watching, you might be thinking this as well. He's kind of starting to give me some Angel Castro vibes on the mound for the Toronto Maple Leafs. Completely different pitchers, but when we saw that yell on the mound as he came off in the 7th inning, that was the kind of passion that Maple Leafs fans saw from Angel Castro. Now, Angel Castro would do it while he was pitching. Even in games he wasn't pitching, he was still yelling on the bench. But same kind of thing, a lot of pitches, and just giving his team a good chance to win.
You see right there, Chris Nagorski. He has gotten up in the bullpen.
Strike 3. Alvarado fired up again. Mateo Porcelato steps in. That's Chris Nagorski warming up in the bullpen for the Maple Leafs. If Alvarado can get out of this, he might get the 9th.
And again, I'm looking down here at my scorecard. 4 out of the 7 innings that he has pitched so far, they've gone 3 up, 3 down.
That's a strike. Well, Wilhennis Alvarado is feeling pretty good on the mound right now.
I think he might go take another walk over there to the bullpen, tell Nagorski, hey, you can sit down for the rest of the night.
He's got to get through poor Salazzo, the 1-1, and a swing and a miss on a nasty breaking ball, and a little bit of a shimmy after that one by Alvarado.
He's having fun out there.
Welland had 3 runs in the 6th. That's it. Alvarado up and in. He reached back for a little extra.
Had a little hop on the mound at the end of that pitch, too.
This is something we haven't seen from Wilhennis Alvarado. Just the way he's carrying himself on the mound right now.
You can tell he has a lot of confidence in all of his pitches right now.
2-2. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Oh, Wilhennis Alvarado does it again. Boy, he is on fire right now on the mound for the Maple Leafs. Giving him a chance to send this one to a Game 5 at Welland. It's 9-3 Toronto. Brandon Underhill is back on the mound for the Welland Jackfish. He'll face Jordan Castaldo in the bottom of the 8th, trying to put together some insurance runs. Castaldo hits one to center field, but it's going to hang up for Gio Morello, who drops the ball. Jordan Castaldo is on first base. That ball was knuckling on Gio Morello, I think, and he just couldn't squeeze it.
Yeah, in and out of the glove right there, and like you said it was knuckling, but it also had that really weird drop to it. It kind of seems like
it did, yeah.
Morello was there, he was under the ball, and then it just drops about 2 feet in front of him.
That's a tough play. I think you got to feel for Gio Morello on that one.
Now, our cameras weren't able to see it, but Wilhennis Alvarado did make another walk down over to the bullpen, and Nagorski has stopped warming up.
Yeah,
I think he had a little chat.
Yeah, he's at about 120 pitches, but some of his best pitches have come in the 7th and 8th inning.
I thought I saw you the other day. How you doing? Good. How are you? Welcome back to Toronto. Thank you. It's very nice to see you. Yeah. How's it going? Good. Good. Still settling in. Good. Really happy to be
So Garrett Takamatsu just grounded into a double play there. We were just dealing with a technical difficulty on our end here. John Salazzo takes well inside from Brandon Underhill. Takes inside again. Brandon Underhill wants another baseball. (2-0). Well outside, 3-0.
And you got to wonder how hard Salazzo will be swinging in this at-bat, if swinging at all.
Jesse Hodges awaits on deck. Right down the middle for a strike. Maple Leafs have 9 runs on 12 hits. The Jackfish 3 runs on 6. The 3-1 to John Salazzo. And he swings and misses.
It's a good sign. Looks like the hip wasn't really activated there. He didn't kind of reach down or grimace at it.
Right. Full count. Ball 4. So Jesse Hodges is going to come to the plate. He'll get his 5th at-bat. Jesse Hodges has put some good swings on baseballs today, has been rewarded with 1 hit.
Yoichi Ishihara has grabbed a helmet. I'm not sure who he'd be going in for.
He'd be going in for John Salazzo at first base, I think.
Well, now he's taken the helmet off and he put the hat back on.
I think they might have been too late to make that change. And I think Ishihara would stay in and play third base. I think he's played a lot of different positions for the Maple Leafs this season. But Salazzo's really their only true third baseman, unless you count Jesse Hodges, who grounds one to third, short way to second. That'll do it. Well, one more inning. Who's going to come out for the Maple Leafs? We'll stay right here. Is it Welland Alvarado or someone coming in from the bullpen? Alvarado?
Yep, there he goes.
Alvarado is coming back on the mound. He'll try and close things out for the Toronto Maple Leafs. He's been on fire of late. Applovich now. Pitch is over the outside corner. That was filthy. Strike 3 called. Really talented pitcher, and he has good stuff. Really good stuff. Over the outside corner for a strike. That's 4 consecutive strikes now from Alvarado. Breaking ball just missed inside.
That was a filthy breaking ball. That's how you know it's a good, again.
Oh
my Lord.
Here's the 1-2. Breaking ball, inside corner, strike 3 called. Rest here in the broadcast booth. Here's the pitch, strike 3 called. Well, Janice Alvarado strikes out the side. So just one more from you. We saw Alvarado have a tough outing this first one. That fastball is pretty fast and that slider is pretty good. Can you tell us what those pitches look like from your perspective?
Yeah, they are really good. I mean, that's a guy that we're lucky to have on the team now. His fastball is really good, and he uses it effectively, right? So when he's pounding the fastball, he's hitting the zone, he's getting ahead of guys. It just makes that slider all that more effective. So I'm glad to see he's kind of turning around. That first outing was a bit shaky, but you cut a guy some slack. He's coming off a plane. He's a long flight. He's getting used to the hitters, but it's going to be good for us for sure.
And it's Welland Alvarado who's going to take the mound for the top of the 9th inning, and he gets a swing and a miss from Caleb Fiersteak on the first pitch.
And this performance by Alvarado so far, just sensational. Exactly what the Leafs needed.
Strike 2. This will be pitch number 126 coming up here for Alvarado. And he misses outside.
He almost got him to chase.
Yeah.
On that breaking ball in the outside corner.
There was a flinch.
And that's the scary thing, because with his breaking ball, it can either be coming right at your hip and cut over the plate, or it can look like a fastball going over the middle and just drop to the outside corner.
1-2. He got him. Johannes Alvarado is running on pure adrenaline right now on the mound.
And there's that breaking ball I was just saying. Looks like a fastball down the middle and then just breaks off into the other batter's box. I believe that's 9 strikeouts now on the night.
James Smybert had a home run back in the 6th. It was a 2-run shot. At the time, it made it a 1-run ball game. The Maple Leafs offense has pulled ahead. The 1-0 misses low. 2-0. And that one's well inside. 3-0. Chris Nagorski, loose in the Maple Leafs bullpen. 3-0 pitch. That one's in there for a strike. Nagorski will likely come into this game as if Johannes Alvarado gets into any trouble.
Yeah, you can kind of see he's taking his time out there.
3-1. Inside, ball 4. Now a righty is coming to the plate. Sam Green is looking down at Dustin Richardson, the bullpen. Richardson, I think, told Sam Green just to stay there, let him go.
Well, he just got the hat tip. So I believe Nagorski is ready, barring anything that happens.
Dupuis is the batter, and he hits a high chopper past Jose Vinicio. That rocketed off the back of the mound. It looked like it was going to be a tailor-made double play ball. But that one took a big hop off the infield, and I think that's going to do it for Johannes Alvarado, as Sam Green's going to come out to the mound.
No signal yet, because it is a lefty up at the plate.
There's a real chance that Alvarado stays in this game, I think.
Very, very real chance.
Alvarado's going to stay in. 130 pitches deep. In the top of the 9th inning with 2 runners on base and a 6-run lead. Alvarado is trying to go the distance here at Dominico Field. Any way this finishes, it'll still go down as one of the all-time performances that the Maple Leafs have seen from one of their starting pitchers in the playoffs.
And I believe it was up to me. I think he has 2 more batters, next 2 being lefties.
Yeah. This is Gio Morello. And there's a strike. It's 1-1.
And he is still pumping that fastball there on that inner half.
And it's softly hit and caught by Dan Mara. There's 2 away. The Maple Leafs are 1 out away from setting this to a Game 5.
And something else to take a note that we've got a little bit distracted of. There was a defensive change, and I believe that's Greg Carrington out there in right field for Ryan DeSantos.
Alvarado's pitch is outside. Kept close by Justin Mara. Hogan Brown is the batter. Here's the 1-0. And Brown swings and misses. He's spinning like a top in the batter's box.
He was sitting back on that fastball, but Alvarado, you can see he has a little smile on his face too. Have yourself a game, young man.
Pitch number 138. And it's a chopper to third. Salazzo fields it. He has no play. It was just hit too high right off the plate, and Hogan Brown ran it out. And now the bases are loaded.
And he's staying in.
The tying run is still in on the bench for the Welland Jackfish. They need 6. This is a big batter right here for Alvarado. Sam Cocker, line drive to Benicio, who makes the catch. Wilhennis Alvarado, a complete game when the Maple Leafs needed it most in the playoffs, as the Leafs win 9-3. And Wilhennis Alvarado is the star in this one tonight.
And sometimes you just have to tip your cap, and young man, number 47, Wilhennis Alvarado, have yourself a game. The complete distance, complete game, and I believe it was also 9 strikeouts. Have yourself a game, young man, and we will be seeing you in Welland for Game 5.
90 strikes, 50 balls, 140 pitches, and a Game 5 coming tomorrow night in Welland. We look forward to seeing you then. Thanks for tuning in.